Hello, 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 and welcome to the Wednesday live stream that will help you improve your English. If this is your first time watching, my name's Craig. I'm from the website mansioningles.com, where you can study English for free. And also, we have a podcast that's published every week at inglespodcast.com. And if this is your first time watching and you don't know me, if you're a regular viewer of these live streams, you may feel that you need to improve your speaking. You may feel that your fluency is not quite where you want it to be and that you're lacking confidence when you speak English. If that is you, I think I can help you with that, because very soon in June, I'm starting another conversation course where you will have discussions, debates, role plays, presentations, and lots of fun activities that will help you to increase your fluency and your speaking in English. If that sounds interesting, well, send me an email. I'll put my email address in the chat and I'll be more than happy to send you information. So there's my email address. That will go in the chat, so don't worry if you don't have a pen in your hand. And with me today, just over there, not next to me on the desk, but close to me in Valencia, is my good friend Lynne from putitlikethis.com. Hi, Lynne.
Hi, Craig. I'm on the other side of the city, you see. It's brighter here. But
a long way.
a long way away, yeah. Okay, so my name is Lynne, for the people who don't know who I am, and I join Craig here every couple of weeks on this live stream. I'm an online teacher of English, and my website is called putitlikethis.com. My company is called Put It Like This. And I specialize in making tailor-made courses, usually for individual students. And basically, I create a course to try to help you find your own voice in English. That's why I'm called Put It Like This, because I like you to put it the way that you want to put it in English. And if you want courses, I also teach fluency courses like Craig, but I also specialize in exam courses or in business courses. Or if you're a teacher and you're teaching in English and you need help with pronunciation, classroom management, those kind of issues, and also fluency or speaking about abstract topics to push you out of the comfort zone all the time, then you can look at my website, putitlikethis.com, and get in touch with me over there. And then I'll see if I can help you too.
And that's the best way to get in touch with you, via your website. Yeah?
Yes, that's right. I have a contact page on my website. You can find all things about information about how I work and how the classes work and everything. And then if you're interested, you can contact me through the contact page. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Well, we are seeing people joining us live. A very warm welcome to
Great.
Concha, Gemma. Hello.
Hi,
Vicente.
Concha. Hi, Gemma. Hi, Vicente. Old faithful. We're not going to say you're old. I don't know if you're really old. You're probably very young and attractive, all of you. But you are definitely faithful, our faithful viewers. You come every week. So that's lovely to see you again.
Absolutely. And if you are watching live, please say hi. Tell us where you're from. Don't forget to say hello. And also thank you if you're watching the replay. Wherever you are in the world, make sure you also comment in the chat, because we like to see what you think. So, Lynne, what are we discussing this week?
Well, this week we're discussing shopping, but we've done that before on one of our live streams, but we were looking more in detail about like things, the vocabulary of supermarkets and shops and things you can buy. But today we thought we'd talk about the changes in shopping, because we are at a moment in our history, I think, where shopping has radically changed and is still changing the way we shop. So we thought we would talk about that topic today.
Yes, we're going to look at e-commerce and shopping apps on your mobile phone and on your web browsers, comparison websites where you compare products, looking at reviews and how you make buying decisions. We'll talk about social media influencers on social media platforms, and also, if we have time, what the future of shopping might look like. Now, it's
Mm.
important that you pay attention to the vocabulary we're going to use, because we might just test you at the end. Is that right, Lynn? We've got
Yeah, that's right. We thought today,
oh,
sometimes in the past, what we've done is we've pre-taught some vocabulary. So we've discussed the vocabulary in advance. But today we thought we're going to do something different. So we're going to not say anything, and you need to be attentive and listening very carefully. You can spot vocabulary that maybe you don't know and you're curious, in which case you can put it in the chat file and ask us directly. Or maybe it's vocabulary that you actually know, but it's not something that you usually use, and you think, oh, that's interesting. So you can make a little note of it. And then at the end, we have prepared what we think, the vocabulary that we think we'll be using today. We might not be perfect, but we hope we will get most of it. And we thought we might ask you and see if you, to check to see if you actually understood it or even heard it. So we do want you to be a little bit like Sherlock Holmes today. Okay, we want you to be attentive and notice the language, because remember, when you're learning a language, of course, you want to understand things and you're trying to follow, but you also have to have a big ear open to notice new language. When you notice language, that's when you will start to improve your own vocabulary. So if you make that little extra effort to notice things, then you start to imitate it, which is, of course, what children do and how children learn the language. They try to imitate us. So,
that's
yeah,
right.
so
And if you
be
do hear,
attentive now.
be attentive. And if you do
Mhm.
hear vocabulary or expressions that are new to you, just ask us, stop
Mhm.
us, put a question in the text. We're in the chat. We'll answer it. We'll explain it more. If you don't understand anything, don't hesitate to write in
To
the
ask.
chat, and
Mhm.
we'll help you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hello, Olga. Thank you for joining.
Hi, Olga. Mhm.
Now, I think probably one of the biggest changes over the last maybe 20, 30 years is online shopping and
Mhm.
e-commerce platforms. I wasn't
Mhm.
quite sure what e-commerce was. Well, I
I'm
kind of,
asking myself that now. I was just about to ask you, Craig, what is the difference between online shopping
well, I'm
and
really pleased.
e-commerce?
I'm
Uh-huh.
really pleased you asked me that, Lynn. The
Thank you, because I
E,
don't know.
I had to Google it. The E in e-commerce is electronic. So
Electronic. Uh-huh.
electronic commerce.
Mhm.
And it is the buying and selling of goods
Mm.
and services,
Mhm.
so products and services,
Mhm.
or the transmitting of funds or data. Be careful of the
Okay.
pronunciation of data in English,
Mhm.
over an electronic network,
Mhm.
primarily, mainly the internet.
Mhm.
And these business
Ah, okay.
transactions, excuse me, these business transactions occur or happen either as business to business transactions, which sometimes you see written as B2B,
Yes, I've
the
seen that
letter
before,
B2B,
B2B.
business to
Mhm. Mhm.
business to consumer, the consumer is the customer, B2C,
Mhm.
and consumer to consumer or consumer to business. So depending on who's buying and who's selling, there's different ways to label or
Mhm.
call these different.
So e-commerce has more detail, basically. They specify different areas or how the sales are going. And I suppose with online shopping, sometimes we have that word, don't we, window shopping, when you just walk around the city and you look, but you don't buy. And I
Doesn't mean
suppose
buying windows, does it?
no, no, it doesn't mean buying windows. It means looking in the windows and just looking. You do a bit of window shopping when you go into the city. But with online shopping, it's also true. You could just be looking, couldn't you? You might not be buying. Whereas, of course, e-commerce gives this impression that you're doing transactions, buying things, sending money, receiving money, and all of that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, when you've said that, though, do you do that? I do. I do both now.
Yeah,
I'm
I
very
do.
used to doing both things
But I
now.
do spend more money and buy more things via e-commerce. I'm a big fan of Amazon,
Mhm.
and I know it's got its problems. But
Mhm.
Amazon is an example of a website that deals solely in e-commerce. Alibaba
Mhm.
is another one. I think that's based in China, and there are
Mhm.
many others. And they give you like a centralized marketplace. So yes,
Mhm.
they sell their products, but they also sell other companies' products,
Mhm.
which is B2B. So they're selling, it's B2C. They're selling to the consumer, but they're selling through a marketplace like Alibaba
Mhm.
or Amazon.
Mhm. And I think they're really successful. I mean, the reason I also use Amazon. I try to be a bit more selective now when I use Amazon. So I try not to use it unless I absolutely need to. Because I try to support the local shops, and I do appreciate that the rise of the e-commerce giants like Amazon, it damages the retail shops and the small shop owners. But the thing that I would be lying if I said it any other way. Amazon is just so convenient, isn't it? You can find nearly anything that you want on Amazon, and it's so reliable. It comes to your door in the time that it tells you. You pay, it's quick. It
Yeah.
saves you a trip to the shops. So the real problem, not using Amazon is the fact that it's inconvenient not to. So there's very few shops that give me the convenience that Amazon gives me. Mhm.
I think that's one reason, and that's one reason why I use it, but I've got 2 more. It's cheaper
Oh. Mhm.
usually than going to and I've checked many times because
Yes,
like
it
you,
is
I
often.
would personally morally be happier spending my money in a local shop here, but it's
Mhm.
more expensive. So
Yes.
obviously you have to think about cost, especially if you're spending a lot of money. And the
Mhm.
third reason is there's more selection. And
Mhm.
sometimes I go to a shop and if I want to buy something, there are 2 or 3 choices,
Mhm.
whereas on Amazon I can compare maybe 50
Yes.
different products, different makes, different prices, different
Mhm.
quality. So there's just a selection. So those 3 reasons are the main 3
Mhm.
reasons why I choose Amazon.
Mhm. Yes, I agree. And I also think they have good customer service. I mean, I've had a couple of problems with products or deliveries or things getting damaged or getting lost on the way. And it's all so easy to deal with Amazon. I haven't really had, I mean, you have to exchange a couple of emails, but it always comes out satisfactorily in the end. So
Yeah,
I really can't knock I wouldn't like to knock their customer service. I think they have quite good customer service too.
they
So
do.
that also um I give my customer loyalty more to Amazon than to other e-commerce platforms because of that, because the website works, because it's very simple to order, to pay, to track your order afterwards. So they are a very, I mean, they're the leader, I would say, in the e-commerce business, aren't they?
But that maybe brings us to the first question we've got for you, and that's how do you think the rise or the increase of e-commerce has impacted the traditional brick and mortar retail stores? Now, Lynn was just talking about the local stores, the stores that maybe are family owned, that they are in your neighborhood perhaps, or at least in the center of your city, and they are physical buildings, brick and mortar. Brick are if you speak Spanish, ladrillos, and the mortar is the cement, the glue that sticks the bricks together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a physical space. It's not on the internet. How how's it impacted? Have you seen any direct effects in your area where you live? I mean, that's a question for you, Lynn, and to anybody watching.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, for me, definitely. I've been in Spain now for 20 years. And one of the things I noticed when I first came to Spain was that, and I love this bit about Spain, is that there were little tiny specialist shops in my area where I used to live, when I used to live closer to the Valencia city. In my little area, I could access loads of specialist shops with usually for the most part, very pleasant owners, people who would give you lots of advice, would help you. And I absolutely adored that. I loved the social contact, the fact that you knew the shopkeepers, that you interacted with them. It was a real pleasure going shopping there. Oh,
What? You okay?
I've lost vision of everything. Can you still see me?
Yes, we can still see you. We can still
Oh,
hear you. It's just
there
your
I am
end.
again. Something went wrong there. Sorry.
You've got
So
a ghost in your machine.
yeah, something went wrong. And of course, that has drastically changed now in the particularly the last 10 years. You see more and more shops that have closed down, and there are spaces now in the high street where the shops are boarded up and they're just not operational anymore. And you see a lot of shops where they are trying to sell them because the owners are retiring and nobody's buying them. And then nobody is taking over the shops anymore. So, I mean, they're definitely on the decline, I would say.
Yeah, they're on the way down. And I agree. I do enjoy going to mum and pop, you can say, mum and pop stores, family owned stores in the center
Mm-hmm.
of Valencia. A lot of them have closed, and that makes me
Mm-hmm.
sad. And I do like the experience. However, I've had the opposite experience. I've had really, really bad customer service in shops. I've had and I understand it. These people sometimes, the assistants, they're working for really low wages. They don't own the
Mm-hmm.
business. They can't be bothered to be there, and they really can't be bothered to help you and serve you. So I've had good experiences and bad
Oh,
experiences.
absolutely. And I think the one of the problems also is to do with the way I work now, because I work from home and I'm not traveling to my place of work. Before, when I used to travel to my place of work, you could pass the shops before work, after work, in your lunch break. But now, because I'm working remotely, I'm in my house and I have to actually walk a long way or take the car to actually shop. Cities now are becoming more and more pedestrianized. So taking the car is a liability. I can go into the city with public transport, but it's all a question of time. It's just not so convenient anymore. So I also think that our lifestyles have changed a little bit. And because of that, we're not actually in a place locally where we can shop regularly. Or I'm not, at least, anyway. And I mean, the place where I live is in a new housing estate. Like all the new housing estates, they were built outside the city, and they have much fewer facilities than in the past.
Yeah, that's true. But that leads us to then another question. Do these e-commerce giants like Amazon, and we've both said we're fans of Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
do they have too much of a monopoly? And maybe you can let us know in the chat if you like Amazon, if you're in favor, can you type yes? And if you disagree with Amazon, you never use them out of principle, can you
Mm-hmm.
type no? Just let us know so we can get a feeling of what you think. So yes is a thumbs up for these e-commerce sites that are perhaps killing
Mm-hmm.
our local shops
Mm-hmm.
and businesses. And then yeah, tell us what you think. Yes or no for thumbs
Mm-hmm.
down.
I mean, I do think there are a lot of local shops who have, well, they've jumped on the bandwagon.
What does
Yeah.
that mean?
Well, that means like they've gone with the flow. They've seen that the future is going to go towards these e-commerce, and so they've tried to come up with a formula where they can still have their physical premises, but they also do online business via Amazon. The advantage of doing it via Amazon is that they don't have to create their own website. They have they can share in the super duper infrastructure that Amazon has got. and because of course as an individual business, they wouldn't have the facilities or the resources to build their own websites and
or
do
the
the
reach to
e-commerce.
reach the
Or
audience that they do.
and they can actually sell to more people through e-commerce than they could in the past. So there are some businesses who have been able to adapt, but that model doesn't suit all types of business, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Concha says yes, so she's an Amazon advocate. She's a fan of Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have an opinion, yes or no, for e-commerce sites? What do you think? But yeah, there's also something called drop shipping, which is also a business that you can run from anywhere where you have an internet connection. So you put an advertisement on a website like Amazon selling, let's say, pencils. You buy your pencils from China, and you don't actually get them delivered to where you are. You get them shipped straight to the customer. So the customer orders the pencils, you order them from China, you increase the price, of course, by 10%, 15% or more, and then you're making money off of every sale. So you're the middleman. And that's also used to be a very lucrative business. Gemma says no. So it's 50-50 so far. She never buys on Amazon. Why not, Gemma? What's your reason? Is it because you don't agree with the way they treat their employees, or you don't trust them? What's the reason that you don't use Amazon for shopping?
I think the e-commerce giants as well. I mean, you can't really. I don't know whether it's fair to accuse Amazon of being a monopoly. A monopoly would be that they don't allow any other retailers to sell with their site or via their site, and that's not the case with Amazon, because they have all kinds of sellers. Sometimes I find a cheaper product than is being offered on Amazon through another supplier. But it does happen that that's rare. Usually the cost of the shipping from the other supplier makes the whole purchase more expensive, because of course Amazon has a massive shipping infrastructure which keeps the prices down of the deliveries, which smaller companies can't do.
Gemma says yes, exactly. So she refuses to use Amazon because she doesn't agree with their corporate identity, with the way they do business.
And the way they do business.
I respect that. I do respect that. Although the reasons we said before, the 3 reasons why I choose Amazon, but I do understand why you believe that, Gemma. And she continues, that's one of the reasons. But mainly, I would say there, Gemma, mainly I prefer to buy directly on the website of the company.
I'm not sure, Emma, when you said on site, because on site means in person, physically in the shop as well.
Not on the website.
I'm not sure whether you mean on the website or you mean in the physical shop. Can you let us know what you want to say there? You prefer to buy directly. Can you just let us know if you mean in the shop or on the website?
We've got on YouTube, I don't know your name, my account. I'm guessing that's not your name. Is that your Amazon account, my account? But that's another thumbs up. That's another yes for Amazon. So we're 2-1 at the moment with your opinions.
Olga has also said, she says, I feel that they are forcing us in some way to follow a path that is very directed by the big companies. I think that's true, but that's true of any big company when they've sold things to us. Yeah, I mean, when you get a big company, a successful business, then they're successful because they manage to convince everybody to buy what they're selling. And that's the success of a business. So I think that that's in the nature of any big business. I mean, it's their objective, isn't it? Any big business wants to grow and sell as much as they possibly can. So it's in the nature. But I do agree with Olga that sometimes we feel that, of course, the bigger the business, the less we are in control. Yeah. But ultimately, we are in control. We can buy. Yeah, Hema meant in the shop, I've just seen. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for some things, like I would never buy, well, I never say never, but shoes. I like to try on shoes because I've got very strange shaped feet. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very difficult for me to buy shoes that are comfortable. And clothes, sometimes I like to touch and feel the quality of the clothes, which
Mm-hmm.
is something you can't see on the
Mm-hmm.
internet, is it?
I think those are the shops that are still surviving, because I think like shoes and clothes, it's a very enjoyable experience to go shopping and touching and trying things on and holding the weight of the shoe in your hand. That's what I often do with the
Feel
shoes.
the quality,
And
yeah.
exactly, and I agree. I don't think they are things that I particularly enjoy buying online. I do occasionally, but not very often. But when it's very specific things like parts, spare parts for my broken machines, yeah, or something for the car. I mean, it's just so easy to go on Amazon, put the make and model of what you're looking for, and you have it immediately. You know
Yeah.
which
Alex,
um, which actually helps in terms of recycling and reusing, because there's a lot of equipment that has broken in my house, and I've been able to repair it because I've been able to get the part on Amazon. And without Amazon, I know that I would never have been able to find that part in where I live without spending a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of petrol looking for
yeah,
it.
so that helps
So that
recycling,
does
doesn't it?
help recycling.
Hello, Alex. Alex is here. He says, does e-commerce include food services like Uber Eats and Deliveroo? Yes, it does, because they're services. And as
Mm-hmm.
we gave the definition, maybe you weren't here at the beginning, Alex, but it's the buying and selling of goods and services over an electronic network. So for Uber and Deliveroo, you use an app, don't you, on your mobile phone,
Mm-hmm.
and that goes directly over the internet. So that would be, yes, included.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hello, Jose. Good to see you here. Thank you for agreeing with me, except shoes, clothes, and food, obviously. Yeah. How fresh is it if it comes
Mm-hmm.
through the post?
Mm-hmm.
Use Amazon for everything. Yeah, I use Amazon for so many things these days.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so much
Mm-hmm.
easier. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I nearly called you Jose Francisco. Sorry, Jose. He doesn't like Jose Francisco. Jose
No,
says a friend of his bought or buys food
that's
every
food every
week
week is in Amazon.
using Amazon. Yeah, I know people who shop for food on Amazon. If there's something very difficult to get, I really like Thompson tea bags, and they are from Northern Ireland. Now, my co-host Reza on the podcast, he's from Belfast, so if he goes back, he'll bring me a packet of Thompson's tea bags. But I drink a lot of tea, so sometimes I run out.
Mm-hmm.
I can't buy them here in Valencia.
Mm-hmm.
So that is an example of where I might look for them on
On
Amazon.
Amazon, yeah, I've bought specialist food through Amazon too, but but I don't buy my regular shop on Amazon. Mm-hmm.
No, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on then, let's look at price comparison websites, because I'd be interested to know if you use price comparison websites to compare different products and services before you buy. Wouldn't it
You
be
asking
funny?
me
Well,
or everybody?
yes, I'm asking you. I'm asking everybody. But wouldn't it be funny if there was a price comparison website for price comparison websites, comparing the best ones on how to compare prices?
I think then it would lose its attraction, to be frank. Yes, I use price comparison websites
What
all the
for?
time for
What
everything.
for?
For insurance,
Yeah.
for if I actually buy a lot of domestic appliances online. I don't buy domestic appliances in any shop anymore. So if my fridge dies on me or my washing machine, I do a very cheeky thing, which I know is naughty,
Oh, I know what you're
but
going to say.
I go into the shops, I have a look, I decide the model and the make of the thing I want, then I
Take a
go
photo.
home, I go on the comparison website and I find it much, much cheaper and then get it delivered home. I've done that now for years with every electric appliance. I've had an oven, an extractor for my kitchen, the dishwasher, the fridge, the washing machine. I've bought them all online.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I've done the
And the
same thing.
comparison websites, I've used the comparison website to find the cheapest deal, because particularly in electronics, there are massive differences
Yeah.
between shops and websites.
Yeah, for car insurance as well, I've used them. And have I used them for flights as well, if I'm flying somewhere?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for flights always.
And if you're watching live, what do you use these comparison websites for? What do you compare? Do you use them? And if not, why not? What do you think?
I mean, I know that some of the insurance comparison websites, they, I think I've got I've got a bit of a loose connection. I keep losing me. I know that on some of the insurance comparison websites, you have to look at the small print, because sometimes they are sponsored by the insurance companies. So there's something funny going on there. There's something
Yeah,
fishy going on. You
something
can't really
fishy.
trust them properly.
Something smells off.
It's not trustworthy. Do you reckon
What?
or not?
Well, yes, yeah. I always try and go to several websites and just get a general idea. Like I don't usually trust one website. I usually go to various. But then over the years, especially when I'm going to buy a tech gadget, for example, you get to know the websites that you can trust.
Yes.
Over
I think
time,
so.
that you build up a trust for them, with them, so you can pretty much know if they're giving you accurate information, because at the end of the day, it's their integrity as well. If they're not going to be honest with the audience, then the audience isn't going to trust what they say.
And sometimes, I mean,
Haha, exactly.
yeah, Mariella doesn't trust
I
them.
look
Yeah,
I,
she look
I
at
look
them.
at them. Remember the at. I look at them, but I don't trust them. Yeah.
I mean, I don't. When I don't trust them, I don't know if it's legitimate or not, but I tend not to trust them if I have to buy via them. So, for example, some of the comparison websites compare different products, or different companies. And I use them to compare it. But when it comes to actually making the purchase, I don't make the purchase through the comparison website. I tend to go to the supplier that they mention in the comparison website, and I go to their website to pay on their website. What I don't like to do is to do the purchase through the comparison website.
Well, I would look if they've got advertising on their website, because if they don't have advertising on their website, or even if they do, they're probably earning their money by commission, because you're clicking through and buying through them. So that's their business model. I mean, it's suspicious. If they're getting money for recommending certain products, then you might think, well, if they're getting a percentage of what you're paying, then they've got an incentive to give an unfair or biased review. But on the other hand, that's how they make it. They have to make money somehow. And if it's either through advertising on the website or by commission, probably.
But some of them
Affiliate
do
sales,
it advertising on the website, but it's advertising of other things. It's
other
not
things.
necessarily the
Yeah.
things that you're buying. I mean, I think there's a very famous comparison website, Rastreator, I think.
Rastreator. Yeah.
Rastreator. And then, and then there's some websites for clothes and things like that. I know that usually if you're searching for things, if you use Google browser, Google remembers what you're searching for, and then often that automatically brings up comparisons. I don't trust that very much.
Why not?
Well, I've clicked a couple of times on it, and then the price that they're showing is not really the full price. So I think that that's more related to advertising, but I'm not an expert, so I don't really know. Sometimes the website change, it all changes so quickly, doesn't it, on technology, that you never really know what you're doing fully.
I think Jose might know. Jose, do you know why the price is different when you click through and go to the product website? Why it's different from Google's comparison of products?
Is Jose an expert? Is he in
Not
tech?
specifically in that, but he does work in IT, so he's got
Okay,
quite a
he might
deep
know.
knowledge in how
Mm-hmm.
the internet works.
Mm-hmm.
Hemo also says that she looks at them, but she doesn't dare to buy them. That's a nice expression. She doesn't
That's
dare to
lovely.
buy them.
You
Yeah.
don't dare to buy. Wow.
Olga
Mm-hmm.
says, I prefer websites that contain opinions of different people. I'm pleased you said that, Olga, because
Mm-hmm.
that's our next question. We were talking about trust. Now, what about reviews, customer reviews and ratings? Rating is where you rate a product. You might give it 2 stars or 5 stars or 3 stars, depending on how good you think it is. Do you trust these reviews? Do you trust
Mm-hmm.
reviews on Amazon, Lynn?
I used to, but I don't now.
Have you been stung? If you've been stung, that means you trust a review and then the product is not good. So like
Yeah,
a bee stings you.
a little
You get
bit. I've been like, I mean, I've thought that hasn't deserved that. And I think that first of all, with the reviews on Amazon, I tend to look at how many reviews are there. And sometimes you see products and they haven't actually got very many reviews. You know, they have like 30, which for me obviously is not a big enough sample. Also, because when you click on them, you can tell the top ones. My strategy is usually when I see the reviews, I do read them like Olga does too, but I tend to read the 5-star ones and the 0-star ones, because I like to know what are the two extreme opinions. And sometimes it's the case that the 0-star ones are the ones where, I don't know, the product's got lost on the way or it's arrived and it's damaged. And that's fine for me, because I think that doesn't really relate particularly to the product. It's just bad luck in the delivery, for example.
Mhm.
But sometimes you get reviews of the lower end, and then they say, I don't know, the material is very cheap. It broke after 3 weeks or something like that. And of course, that I would trust. And I think when you look at the 5-star reviews, the first ones, it's very clear that they've been written by the people who work for the company.
So why do you take notice of oh, you don't take notice of those so much. You
No, I
look for the
do, but
middle.
to be honest with you, but maybe this is difficult for our listeners if you, I mean, probably you do this if you read them in Spanish, but I can tell from the quality of the English whether it's been invented or whether it's kind of been genuine or not.
Mhm.
Can
Interesting.
you? Do you not? I mean, I think you can
Um,
tell pretty quickly whether a review is a fake one or not.
I don't find it that easy, to be honest. I do tend to focus more on the middle, like the 2, 3, and 4-star reviews, because
Oh, really?
usually you get a nice balance of what's good about the product and what's bad about the product.
Mm-hmm.
But like you,
Mm-hmm.
if there are many reviews, more than 100, for example, then you've got a much better chance of having an unbiased opinion,
Mm-hmm.
because you can get an overall picture or overall
Mm-hmm.
opinion of what you're buying. But also, I go to other websites too, so I won't only look at Amazon. I'll go to other websites where that product is for sale, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll check the reviews there, especially if
Mm-hmm.
it's something that's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Um, Mariella, I do the same. I'd use present simple there because it's something that you do quite on a regular basis, like a habit. So I
Mm-hmm.
would say I do. Yes, I do the same. And Jose, as far as he knows, websites play with the price. Yeah, that's what I thought you'd
Oh,
say. They,
really?
they
Uh-huh.
use algorithms based on the amount of people, the times that your computer has visited the website, which
Uh-huh.
the cookies are registering that. And
Yeah.
in my honest opinion, it is a bit unfair. But it's good to
Yeah.
know. Thank you for
Yeah,
that,
it is.
Jose.
Thank you, Jose. I've heard about that, that when you're looking for flights, you see that the price of the flight going up, and so you have to delete the cookies, don't you? Or that there's something
Yeah.
you can do. You can do browsing in anonymous mode or something.
Yes, incognito browsing. Yeah.
Incognito browsing, and then it doesn't realize what you're looking for.
So then they don't put the price up. Yeah, it happens with flights a lot. Yeah. Diana says she reads reviews because some of them are hilarious. They're really funny. You can realize when it's fake. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can.
Diana, I agree with you there. Yeah.
That's true.
And Olga's got a question for us. That's great. Do you post opinions about products that you've bought? Do you, Craig?
Sometimes, yeah, more if it's a really bad, disappointing product than otherwise. I actually bought a little present for my wife that has taken so long to arrive, and they keep promising, and it hasn't arrived. And I don't want to put a negative review yet in case they get annoyed before I get it. But if it eventually does arrive, I'm going to give a 1-star terrible review, because I don't think if a company is shipping or sending or posting something in the same country, it should take more than 2 weeks in 2023, especially if it's something small. So I'm going to give a really bad review. I tend to complain and moan and say things and write reviews when I'm disappointed with a product, not when I'm happy. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I tend to do that too. It's like if I get a really bad service, then I will write a bad review.
And I'll put it on Twitter as well. I'll put the company
Do you?
on Twitter, and I'll say why I'm disappointed. Yeah, of course.
But sometimes through Amazon, I get contacted by people. There's a function on Amazon where if you have a specific question about a product, you can put it to Amazon, and then they send the question to people who've bought the product. And that's a really good thing, because then you can ask a specific question, and then a real person who's bought the product will give you an answer. And so when I receive requests like that, I tend to answer.
Yeah, me too. Alex says every time he needs to buy something, he does a bit of research online. Good. Yes, I do the same. A lot of companies give the customer the option to match a lower product price from a store by showing some sort of proof. Yes. Yeah. What does Tony say? Hello, Tony. I'm the type of person who loves seeing my products. I never buy online. I love touching them before. Doesn't it depend what though, Tony? I mean, as Lynn said before, if you're buying a spare part for your car or something for your washing machine, is it important to touch it? Clothes, yes. Something that's, or maybe a hat or a pair of gloves or shoes you want to touch. But if it's something like for the house, is it important? I don't know.
But I understand where Tony's coming from, because I don't know whether we'll get to this later or not, but there is something that we are losing with online, and it is, for me, very clearly, it's to do with the pleasant experience of earning your money, going to a shop, and then spending it. Having the social interaction with the person and feeling that you have physically earned this, there's something involved with the effort, that the reward you get from buying something. You seem to get more satisfaction when you buy it in person than when it simply lands on your doorstep through the Amazon delivery guy. I don't know if you feel that, but I feel more satisfaction looking around the shops, finding something, and then I enjoy the experience of shopping. And of course, if e-commerce continues the way it is and we start losing more and more shops, I think we might get to a situation where, we don't realize what we're losing until we've lost it completely.
Like
there
the
might
song,
be a big vacuum.
You don't know what you've got till it's gone.
Till it's gone. And I'm worried a little bit about that. I think we might realize in a few years' time, oh my God, all that lovely social interaction, all the lovely sense of community that we get when we go shopping, the sense
Mm,
of satisfaction. Uh-huh. We might get very empty, in that sense, I think.
maybe,
I don't
maybe.
know. Uh-huh.
I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, word of mouth recommendations, which are not really reviews that you read on Amazon, but I think it's probably a lot more powerful than traditional advertising, isn't it? If your friend recommends something to you, then it's very powerful, I
It
think,
is. Uh-huh.
especially if you trust that person's judgment and you trust what they think, and they say, "Oh, this is a very good mobile phone," or this shop sells very good food, for
Mm-hmm.
example. This is a fantastic restaurant. It's a very, very strong recommendation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, definitely. And I think that's why social media has become very, very important. And the advertisers have realized that, because if you are an influencer
Aha.
and lots of people believe you and follow you, then you do have a huge power to influence the purchase decisions of the normal people on the street.
So have you, Lynn, or people watching live, have you ever bought anything because of an online influencer? Have you ever watched a YouTube video, somebody recommending, I don't know, perfume or a car or anything,
Uh,
and you've gone out and bought it because of their recommendation?
um, no.
Are you sure though?
I think so. It's because I don't trust strangers.
But it's not really a
So I
stranger.
would
Maybe
trust
somebody on
you. But
Instagram
if it's a
or
celebrity on Instagram, I'm sorry, but for me, everybody on social media are strangers. Yeah. I mean, I have to have some kind of interaction with them. Now, if I talk to you, dear audience here, right? I mean, some of you, I'm seeing your names for the first time today, right? So, with all due respect, it's nice, but I'm not sure whether I would trust a recommendation. However, it is true that some of the students who log in, like hi Hima again, or Concha, yeah, or what's the other name
Alex
that
or Jose.
Alex or Jose. I've seen you before, and I don't know, just the fact that we've interacted a little bit, I feel that I know you a little bit. So if you were to make a recommendation, I would probably listen to you.
Me too, definitely.
But to listen to somebody that I really don't know, I'm not sure whether I would do it. Uh-huh. But maybe that's just because I have a distrust. I don't know.
Um, talking about reviews, I never take into account 1 or 5-star reviews, so doesn't agree with you, Lynn.
Yeah.
He reads the 2 to 4 comments and the most recent ones. Yeah, yeah,
Well,
it's good advice.
you guys have convinced me, Jose and Craig.
Mm.
You have convinced me. It's kind of quite foolish what I do, reading the 1 and the 5s,
They
because
are
you do.
extreme, and
They're extreme,
they're
yeah,
either because anybody who is not honest or someone to trust will probably give a 5,
yeah.
and people who are really, really, like complainers and they just
Hmm.
like complaining, then they're going to give a 1. So you get rid of
Yeah,
those.
yeah. You're right. So I might try that in the future. I've learned something tonight. That's great.
Without forgetting that buying outside our environment entails much more traffic and pollution. Oh, good point, Olga. Yeah, I like the
Hmm.
use of the verb to entail.
Entail. Very good,
Yeah,
Olga. Yeah. Now,
it
the thing is, though,
means,
that your comment there, Olga, could apply to online shopping and to physical shopping, because, of course, it's true that when we buy online, we're going to send the goods. So that's more traffic, isn't it? It's more pollution
but it's only
because,
one way though. Oh
sorry,
no, 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 it's not because the person has to go back.
the
I thought it
person.
was only one way, but the
No, the
person who
person
brings
has
it
to go.
has to
The
go
person who
back.
brings it has to go back. And so you have 10 trips for Amazon to sell the same product, with a
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure actually, because if people go to a shop, those customers are traveling 10 times as well, aren't they?
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm not actually sure which saves, what saves. I think the idea is that when you have a physical shop, all the goods are delivered into the shop in one go. But
But
that's the same with a
Amazon
warehouse, isn't it?
But Amazon
Uh,
warehouses are the size of cities, so you've got all the
yeah,
products
of
there
course,
under one roof,
in one
and you
roof, yeah.
haven't got vans and lorries taking the products to hundreds and hundreds of small shops.
Yes, that's true. And you haven't got the customers going to the small shops, which are polluting using public transport or even using their own private transport. That is a lot more traffic and a lot more pollution, probably.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
point. Good
it's a
point, Olga.
tricky one, that one, Olga. Uh-huh. Mhm.
Where are we?
We've got 10 minutes left, so just to remind you about if we want to have a review of vocabulary, Craig.
Should we do just one more, or should we? Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
one. Let's do one more quickly, and then yeah, personalized recommendations on the internet. So that's not from people we know.
Ah.
That
Mhm.
is cookies, as Jose mentioned before, following us, knowing the websites we're visiting, and then showing us advertisements that are targeted at us. So
Mhm.
targeted advertising. What do you think? Is that useful or creepy?
It
Creepy is the really like uncomfortable feeling you get that somebody's following you, and whatever you do, you're being watched by
Mhm.
somebody in your computer or your mobile phone.
Mhm. I hate it.
I like it.
Do you? I
Yeah.
absolutely hate it. I can't stand it. And I'll tell you why. It's because I want to have the experience of living my life. I think it's so much in our life, we have to do things, like as earlier that we said, like we can't stop the big companies, like directing our choices. But then when somebody is suggesting things for me, it drives me nuts because it's like, get out. I want to live my own life. It's like when you're a teenager and your mum or your dad is trying to tell you what to do all the time and you like rebel. And
No, I don't agree.
yeah.
I'd much rather see an advertisement for something I'm interested in, because if you look at my browser history, then you'll know I like technology, I like cars, I like certain things, but I don't really like ladies' clothes or perfume or I don't know, motorbikes, for example. I couldn't care
Oh,
less. So
but
why
then
would
you
I why
never,
would I why would I want to see advertisements for those things like you
because
were
you're a
used to on
part of the
television?
no, because you're a part of the world,
But
and
it
you
doesn't
even
interest me.
but yes, but not everything has to interest you all the time. It's about participating in this lovely world that we have around us. And I don't really like motorbikes either, but at least I still know what a motorbike is. I mean, imagine if you live all your life with these personalized things. There's so much of the world that you just won't see.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. You're watching television and the advertisements appear, or you're
Uh-huh.
watching a YouTube video and you get those 30-second advertisements at the beginning. Do
Hmm.
you fast forward them, or do you watch them so that you get the experience of things you've never seen before?
I fast forward them or I get up and make a
Exactly,
cup of
because they're
tea. A cup of
annoying.
tea.
That you don't want to watch them. They annoy you. They bother you. You get rid of them as quickly as you can.
Yes, that's true. But imagine that everything is getting your interest, then you're totally being pulled in to something that maybe you don't want to have all your attention on.
Are you
That's
hinting at politics, maybe that I'm being influenced in
oh no,
some?
no, no, no,
No,
no,
okay.
no. I was just thinking that you become a bit nerdy. Are you a bit nerdy, Craig?
Yes, I am a nerd. I
Do
admit
you
it.
stick on your computer all night
I
and just read tech gadgets?
I wear
I
my nerd badge proudly.
Probably I get out of the computer and I go in the kitchen and make myself a cup of tea and look out the window.
Well, I do. I
Yeah.
go out on my bike, or I walk along the beach here. I do other things,
Okay.
but I don't. Advertising is inherently, basically annoying. And if I
Mm,
have to watch advertising, I'd much rather watch advertising about products that interest me,
mhm,
because some advertisements can educate you and you
mhm.
can see what's new in the world.
Yeah, true.
But
Yeah.
time is beating us. Let's just look what Alex thinks. It's creepy when you're talking about something and a minute later you get ads on Facebook offering those. Yes, but don't forget, Alex, your mobile phone is the perfect spying device. It has a microphone, it has a camera, it tracks you. So it's not surprising that it's listening, really.
Mhm.
But it
Mhm.
is creepy. I agree.
Mhm.
Let's wrap up, as they say, and finish by looking at a vocabulary review.
Mhm.
So, which of these words did we use? Did we say shoppers?
I think so.
I
Yeah.
think so.
We used all of those, didn't we?
Buyers,
Sh-
consumers,
Consumers.
clients.
Mhm. Sellers we used. Brick and
B2B.
mortar,
Yeah.
brick and mortar retail shops,
Yes.
which are the
Retail.
physical shops. Oh, we
Hmm.
didn't say shopkeeper, did we? We didn't say
No.
shopkeeper. A shopkeeper is the owner of a shop. So
Yeah.
the person, the boss of a shop. Mhm.
Like a greengrocer or a baker or a butcher.
Mhm. Yeah. Uh-huh. Shop on the go, we didn't say, did we either?
No, you mean that's with mobile phones, shopping on the go?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like shopping while you're out and about. So you're not making a conscious decision to go shopping. Maybe you're on
Hmm.
the way to work or you're on the metro and you're shopping on the go. You're shopping while you're doing something else. Mhm.
Window shopping, we said that. Window
We did say
shopping.
window shopping and we haven't put it there. Uh-huh.
We didn't really speak about mobile apps. I skipped that part for reasons of time. Online
Uh-huh.
retailers, we spoke about definitely customer reviews on TripAdvisor and Amazon, and ratings, rating with stars your opinion of a
Mhm.
product or service. Feedback,
Mhm.
don't think we mentioned that.
A
Good
feedback is
service,
when
bad
you give a
service.
review. Basically, you say what you thought about something.
Yeah.
We did talk about word of mouth, didn't we?
Yes.
Which is the advertising when somebody recommends things to somebody else, which I think still is definitely the most effective form of advertising is word of mouth.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not sure whether that's true all the time. I suppose it depends what you're advertising. For some things, it's probably not the most effective.
And how much you trust the person who's giving you the
Yeah.
recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Slick means very professional, very smooth advertising. So slick advertising by professional advertising agencies.
Mm-hmm.
Trustworthy.
So whether you can trust, whether you believe, whether it's believable, and whether you think that people are telling you the truth. We didn't mention product promotions, did we?
We
So
didn't mention product placement either, which is
we
quite
didn't
interesting.
know. And product promotion is when somebody is making a special effort to make the product visible to people, and maybe they offer us particular for a short period of time. They offer a good price,
Yeah. 2 for
and they
1.
try to 2 for 1, those kind of offers, and they try to promote the product.
And
And
product
online
placement,
influencers.
when you're placing something, you're putting something in front of the consumer. You
Hmm.
typically see that in a James Bond film, for example. He's driving a BMW or he has a Rolex watch. They're
Hmm.
placing the product in another environment so that you notice it and you associate
Yeah.
it with James Bond and you
Or,
want it.
for example, you watch a live stream and then you learn about the Thompson tea bag from Northern Ireland
Or the pencil from China.
or the pencil from China. I think Craig, are you getting money for this, Craig?
Oh yes, for every pencil I sell. And finally, shaping shopping trends and behavior, the way that the internet does. I think we spoke about that in general, didn't we? But we
We
didn't have
did.
time to speak about click and collect.
Yeah, they're quite new forms now, aren't they? That you
Yeah.
that
You
you
you shop
buy
online.
online. But you collect it from a physical store.
And it
Uh-huh.
saves time. Although Alex did mention click and deliver, where you use
Mm-hmm.
Deliveroo, for example, to order fast food, and then that gets delivered to your house.
Mm-hmm.
To pick up means to collect. Pick up in the
Uh-huh.
store. Yeah,
In the store.
home delivery.
And shipping times, which is the
Shipping
delivery
times.
times. It's got nothing to do with the ship, but we still call it shipping times, even if it's not delivered by a ship.
Yeah, mailing or posting. Speaking
Mm,
of time, we have run out of it,
we have
unfortunately. So we're
indeed.
going to have to stop there. It's been very interesting. Time has flown. It's gone really
Uh-huh.
quickly.
Has.
Thank
And I
you
would,
for giving us company.
it would be great, guys, if you give us a little bit of feedback. Not
Rate and
because we're
review,
uh,
subscribe,
subscribe. No, not because we're
ring the
trying
bell.
to advertise the live stream, but yes, but I mean we couldn't we? So you can't know, but it's useful as well if you do give us feedback, because you know that we do make these classes for you guys. So if you like the format of today, or maybe you might have thought we talked too much and that it was hard for you to interact with us, I don't know, but let us know what you think about the format. Or would you have preferred the vocabulary at the beginning rather than the end? We're open to all your suggestions. Yeah.
As long as your reviews are 5 stars.
Yes. No bad language, please.
Lynn,
Okay,
why don't you tell them?
I'll say
Mhm.
goodbye. Yeah, I'm Lynne from putitlikethis.com. If you joined later and you don't know, putitlikethis.com is my business, and I'm an online teacher, and I specialize in creating tailor-made courses for you. So if you have a specific need, a specific objective in English, then I'll try to create a course that helps you achieve your goal in English. Okay.
And I'm Craig from mentioningles.com, where you can study English for free. Lots of free courses and material there. If you are a Spanish speaker, you might find that exceptionally useful. And there's a podcast every week at inglespodcast.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you are interested in improving your speaking as well as
Mm.
listening to us talk for an hour, then you could join my speaking course. There's my email address. It's going into the chat now, so I'd be more than happy to send you information if you're feeling that you need a little bit of help when you're speaking English with anybody, especially when you're traveling abroad or having meetings at work. So let me know if you need help, and I will send you information about the courses. And Lynn, we're going to possibly change the day. Well, we probably will change the day, maybe temporarily, of these live streams, but we've decided we're going to keep doing them, but they will probably change to a Friday. Now, for more information, keep watching Twitter, keep watching Facebook. I'll also post it on other social media platforms, Instagram and Twitter. And I
Yeah,
said,
and on my website, putitlikethis.com, if you go to the section latest news, I always put up the posts then when Craig and I have decided what topic we're going to talk about and the date. So if you look at the latest news section of my website, you'll always find the time and the date and the link to the next class. Okay?
absolutely. Thank you, Mariela, Gemma, Sandra, Concha, Alex, Jose. Thank you so much for your company. And we will be
Yeah.
back very soon. So take care and have a great week.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Enjoy yourselves and keep shopping
Keep
or